Did you know there is a proper way to turn off the 4th generation Tacoma because of the turbo? You know, I see a lot of misinformation out there in the Facebook group and on the channel as well about what you're supposed to do in driving the new Tacoma with its turbo 4. So I went to the manual. Let's see what Toyota has to say. It says here, idling time before engine stop. They have a section for it. To prevent damage to the turbocharger, allow the engine to idle immediately after high-speed driving or hill climbing. So only in those two instances, but what are they? It says here, driving conditions, normal city driving, not necessary. So if you're just driving around in the city, maybe running errands or whatever, unless you're climbing steep hills, you don't have to do anything special. Just get to your destination and push the button and turn it off, right? High-speed driving, constant speed of approximately 50 miles per hour. So if you're going 50 or higher constantly for some period of time, it doesn't really say. It's not necessary. This is up to 50 miles an hour, I guess. So you don't have to do anything. So up to 50 miles an hour of constant driving, nothing. Steep hill driving or continuous driving at 62 miles an hour or more, and they say in brackets, racetrack driving. You know, it's funny, I get a lot of people on the channel when folks start talking about performance and 0 to 60 times and acceleration that state that the Tacoma is not a race car. Why are you worried about that? Well, right here in the manual, it says racetrack driving, etc. So apparently, Toyota expects some of their buyers to drive the new Tacoma on the racetrack. If you're under those conditions, 62 mile an hour or more, steep hill driving, or continuous racetrack driving above 62 miles an hour, you're supposed to let the truck sit and idle for 1 minute. That's it. Now, I also looked through the manual here, trying to find anything about startup. In other words, are you supposed to let it sit and idle at startup like you're supposed to do in some instances after driving it under those stated conditions? I couldn't find anything that said you're supposed to do anything at startup. So apparently startup is really not an issue. If you know something different about that, please let me know. I'd be curious. So let's go for a ride. There's something else, a couple other things. Number one, I put my new flashlight set up over there in that hidden cubby area. I want to see if that thing bounces around at all, if we get any noise for it. And then answer another question or comment, I guess, that I get on the channel. Why haven't I bought a TRD Pro? Or even a Trail Hunter? I've owned every other one. Why not those? Why have I always stayed away from them? Okay, out on a bumpier road, first thing we're going to do is listen for noises from that flashlight I did. And if you didn't see the video, it's the one prior to this one, I think. It's where I used a magnet and a plate to kind of hold that in place. So I'll be quiet for a second here. Okay, pretty severe bump there. I don't hear anything coming from over there where that flashlight is. I hear other noises around the truck, from the seatbelt thing back there bouncing against the pillar, and then some stuff I've got in the back, but I didn't hear any noise from that area. So I'm pretty confident it's not going to drive me nuts and make noise over there. So it seemed to work pretty well. Now, let's talk about this TRD Pro / Trail Hunter, and really the Pro question, because I really do like the TRD Pro. I mean, I think it's an awesome looking truck. I like the way that they have it painted, its capabilities, the lift that comes on it. I mean, everything about it is really pretty darn cool. So the big question then is, why in the world haven't I bought one? I mean, I've spent enough money on Tacomas over the years that obviously I could have purchased one if I wanted for the money I've spent on the ones that I've gotten, right? Could have just bought one instead of 8, whatever it is. There's a few reasons. Number one, it's too much freaking money. I just cannot justify to myself spending over 50 grand on a mid-size truck, and that's a tough pill to swallow, let alone. Now, I've never paid even that much. I think this truck was somewhere around 42, something like that. So not even near the $50,000 mark, but it's just too much money for me for a mid-size truck. I would probably buy something else if I was going to spend that kind of money on a vehicle. Just crazy money. Secondly, it really is a finished truck, right? I mean, it's got everything on it that I think you would do. It's not to say you can't mod it or anything, but you're paying a lot of money for everything that Toyota has done to that truck from a stock or a standard standpoint, just to rip it off and do something different. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to do that. Matter of fact, I think the best trim level to buy, really, and kind of hypocritical of me, I guess, is the SR5, because it's got enough on it where you can then add to it or adapt it to be the way that you want it without paying for a bunch of things that you're just going to rip off, right? Next up, back to the Pro, that damn back seat. With that isolation or isolator seat thing, the shock absorbers they have in the seats. To me, it's a not fatty, but faddy thing. I just don't see any reason to have that. Plus, it takes up so much room in the back seat area that it really makes the back seats useless, in my opinion. Now, I know there are people out there that are going to say, wait a minute, Rob, I have a TRD Pro and I put people back there all the time. Now, I would love to have an honest response from those folks stating how comfortable they were back there with those isolation things that protrude into their space. I've seen pictures of guys that are taller, you know, the vertically gifted at like 6'3", 6'4", maybe taller, with their seats back to their driving position, and there's just no room back there. I can't see doing that, especially if you're not a big-time off-roader. And I'm not talking about, you know, your typical weekend warrior, the person that goes out and runs around in the dirt now and then. I'm talking somebody who is out there 3-4 times a week, running the trails as fast and as hard as they can. They're real diehards. Those folks I could see buying the Pro for the isolation seat things, but not a normal driver. To me, it's almost like Toyota has maybe overlooked the common user like me in that model of truck. You really have to be more of a specialty buyer. Again, this is my opinion. I know there's people out there who are not going to agree with me, but I think they've kind of just looked right past us towards a more specific and dedicated market that doesn't include me. So it's for those reasons that, you know, the TRD Pro is just not the truck for me. I love the truck, don't get me wrong. Looks great, great stance, great capabilities, horrible pricing, and some bad features that aren't for me. Anyway, leave a comment, let me know if you agree. Don't forget, click that subscribe button if you haven't before. I really would appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next time on the web. Bye.